What's up, Pella, Virginia? We are coming to you with our next breakdown. We are live. I'm at boots on the ground. I am out in the field at a beautiful home. We've got a special guest today. As always, Carl's here. He's back in studio, bringing you the action. So we're going to talk about the trade sales team for fantasy sales team. And the interesting thing is Richard got the #1 pick. We know Richard loves Chris Thomas. So Chris Thomas is going #1 overall. I think that's a foregone conclusion. And then Carl, the defending champ, he went trade last year. So Carl, you'd think, all right, Drew's the logical choice, but Kevin Robinson is actually having a really good year. So who are you taking in the #2 pick?
Yeah, I know that's a tough one, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, Drew, if you pick Drew, he's on your team, you're going to win. Every time there's been an FST tournament, he's been on the championship team. So if he slides down to me, it's going to be awful hard not to pick Drew. Although, like you said, Kevin Robinson's actually got more bookings than Drew. So we'll see. But Drew always has a big finish. It's tough to bet against him. So we'll see. Garrett, what do you think? I mean, obviously, you're the one that manages these guys. Got any insight for us?
Hold on now. We got to introduce the special guest. It's just the special. So we've got Garrett Miller, rookie owner, new trade sales manager, been a player all these years. So I guess he gets promoted, motivates Kevin Robinson to go to this next level. Yeah. Garrett, what do you think?
I wouldn't say I think Kevin had it built in him the whole time. I wouldn't say I had anything to do with it. But, well, thanks, gentlemen, for having me today, and looking forward to chat a little bit here. In regards to Carl's question, yeah, I mean, I can't deny that. I would say Drew is one of those people that's always Carl's interests as a fantasy team owner. But it's tough to discount Kevin as well. I mean, Kevin's delivered through and through the whole year, consistent. But my question with Kevin is, does he have anything left in the tank?
Well, you're supposed to tell us that. You're the trade man, because Drew sold $614,000 in 1 week, or booked it last year. I guess sandbag, I don't know. But then Kevin has, I guess, is this the record, $1 million in one single month? Can you do it?
It was.
Give us the insider scoop.
You know, try not to divulge too much information, but no, I'm just kidding. You know, I don't know, to be honest with you. I followed up with Kevin a little bit on that. I would say I wouldn't bet on $1 million month again. I think that's pretty well exhausted, but I think Kevin will definitely come to the table with some consistency and some big months coming up here to wrap up the year.
Well, one thing I can say about Drew is you got to make it to the championship. He might not be consistent week in, week out, but when it's a championship week, that's when you need him, and that's where he came through. So it's a little bit of risk, because if you can't, the rest of your team can't get you to the championship, you might not be able to get to use Drew. That's the one drawback on Drew. You might have to look at some as a little bit more consistent. Like name pops out to me, Jeff Perkins last year really, really jumped out in the FST tournament. Super consistent, high floor, coming every week. Might be the guy you need to get you to the championship. So I guess it just depends on how you build your team.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I would say Jeff Perkins has been the definition of consistency this year, delivering, you know, month in and month out. And I know we did the same last year at the end for fantasy. So, yeah, I think it's one of those, you know, very, very consistent RB1, RB2 options, you know, that's going to deliver every week to get you a solid base or foundation of points. So I tend to absolutely agree there.
So Jeff, he does fly under the radar because I don't remember what round he went in. I don't have my stats. I don't have my Scott's paper here. I think he went in the 4th round last year. So he's a bit of a sleeper pick because he doesn't have that volume, but he was one of the top project submissions producers. And he was one of the people that inspired the Commissioner's Award. It's like, I felt bad not giving him a $50 gift card at the end of the year because he played with so much heart. nitpicking everything I did all season long, which showed that he was interested. And
Absolutely.
so that's why the Commissioner's Award became a thing, and he certainly won it. So, all right, so we've got those guys, but what about, I'm curious about these new players. We've got Tyler Smith, Zach Kenworthy, Dylan from some other city who's a Pella veteran, but he doesn't even know.
We don't even know his last
They
name.
know who Carl is.
Well, his last name is Stewart. Dylan was a free agent acquisition from a New Jersey team. Well, I wouldn't say free agent. We traded for him. But he comes to us with, some hunger. Dylan's ready to eat. And he is coming off a Jim Britt territory that myself and Dana have been involved in the past 6 months. So he's got some infrastructure there, and he's ready to hit the ground running.
Good. How much experience is he? Is he a seasoned vet, or is he,
he went through the Pella PST training program. So he does have that under his belt. It's the 9-month development program at Pella. And then he was the PCC liaison in West Caldwell. So definitely has some experience under his belt, but you're still betting on that rookie upside.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you that could be a sleeper pick. I mean,
I agree.
He's getting Jim Britt's book of business there. Late round sleeper, I could tell you that looks pretty good.
Might not be a bad bet.
So I wrote in the preview that if we may find out if he's a go-getter and hungry, if Jim Britt was actually really lazy, because he might double Jim's sales, or if Jim is actually a good sales rep. We're going to find out during fantasy sales team. And then there's
absolutely
Tyler's already booked $2 million. I thought he was new, and he's booking $2 million. Like, holy cow. That is actually the third highest in the office.
Well, he was the benefactor of my old territory as well, but Tyler's done a great job coming in and keeping the consistency rolling with, the guys that we already had a lot of infrastructure with.
Well, one thing that pops out to me with Tyler is the prospect quotes 44. He's pacing the competition with prospects quotes. So what is he doing different from everybody else?
I think it's just beating the streets, getting some of the customers out there that we haven't really been touching lately, or, possible leads that have been generated, through Salesforce, Hatch, any of that stuff as well. Those are the things that jump out at me.
Yeah, because that's a new category this year, and that jumps out as a team owner. Yeah, so
absolutely.
Prospect.
I'm getting mixed signals from Garrett. He's on one hand, he's saying that Tyler's doing so well because he took over all of my old customers, taking credit for everything. But then he also said that he's also the reason he has the most quotes because he's the best hunter. He's actually prospecting like salespeople are supposed to do. So
yeah, I think we have some discrepancies in the numbers, to be honest with you. Zara had included some of the numbers for my bookings, taking over Jim's stuff in with Tyler as well. So we've got a little convolution in there.
All right, we'll get that cleaned up before the season.
So we'll get that cleaned up and we'll get a new assessment back over to you. So that's why the prospecting question threw me off a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right. What about I'm mad we haven't talked about this next person yet, because this is this person. He flies under the radar, but always performs in FST, and that's Justin Van Landingham. He is like the ultimate sleeper pick. I think people sleep on him too much, and he's so consistent in this tournament. How do you think he's going to do this year?
I would anticipate Justin delivers again. It's similar situation to the Drew one, to where Justin, nothing against him, but he's typically pulling in a good amount of volume toward the end of the year to ensure he makes that number.
Yeah, he's always performed well, and I don't know if I could sleep on him again this year. I'm not yet had him on my team, but he's one that jumps out to me. I love the prospect quotes there, 30, and so. Yeah, and he's a strong finisher, so we'll see where he lands. I think he's going to be a great pick this year as well.
Absolutely, I think he's a great mid-round acquisition.
He does the little things too, the Google reviews and the project submissions. but he does fly under the radar. We got 8 rounds, and he actually might go in the 9th round this year. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And then there's another Justin Hughes. He's by himself this year.
He is flying solo
with the help of Isaacs. What is he gonna bring the heat this year?
We recently had our third quarter review, and we touched on a lot of the prospecting stuff as well, and just some stuff that's needed to make budget toward the end of the year. So I think Justin is going to be pressing for some bookings that could deliver some solid fantasy points for their owner.
Nice. That's great.
I think he could be a good sleeper as well.
And we have not talked about Zach. Any quick words on Zach Kenworthy before we wrap up?
Hey, Zach's a go-getter. Zach's a solid player as well. I think he could be a really good sleeper. He's coming off Jeff Hainsworth's accounts and all of that, so he's got a solid infrastructure as well. And Zach joined us from New Jersey. This will be his first fantasy season, so looking forward to having him as well. I think he could be a sleeper.
So he's not a true rookie. He's a rookie to Richmond. So he
is.
Came from. So how long did he work for Pella?
So he has been with Pella for about 4 years, I believe.
4 years. See, that's a game changer. See, I need to know that sort of thing. He's a grizzled veteran at this point.
Zach's coming off a President's Club win last year.
Oh,
whoa! I gotta get that in there. I gotta add that in.
I gotta move Zach up. Oh
boy! Holy smoke! All right, well, you guys heard it here. We got so glad that we had our first Pella First Take guest with all the insider information. Thank you, Garrett Miller, for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man. And then I feel like the trade position is kind of like tight ends, because you got some really high end potential, and then there's a big group that comes after that. But we'll see who breaks out this year. Fantasy sales team draft starts tomorrow. We'll see you guys there.
Pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen.